What up, Hitec Nation? Vance here. Today we just picked up this Yokomo RD 2.0 drift chassis. We're gonna go inside and build it, and we're gonna throw in our own DB777WP into that. So let's go check it out. Come on in. As you guys can see, I have all of our parts laid out in front of me. So let's start with our base here. We have the Yokomo RD 2.0 drift chassis. For our wheels, we're going to be running the DS Racing 5-spoke 3-piece white on chrome rims with Yokomo drift tires on top of those. And then for our body, we have the Nissan 240SX. And then last but not least, we have our very own DB777WP low profile servo. So I'm super excited to be bringing these to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy watching me build this thing. Let's get to it. Alright guys, we're going to kick things off by building the chassis kit. So it is a kit, so it comes in a whole bunch of pieces, parts, as you can see. I think there's like 12 bags in here in total, and it comes with the gyro in there. But you know, building it is half the fun. So I think that's all we got to do now is just get to building. So let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see, we got the gearbox all put together and mounted onto the frame. So the next step is to throw in our beautiful DB777WP into this bad boy. So let's get to it. Alright, as you guys can see, we got our low profile 777 in there. Nice and snug, not going anywhere. Alright guys, so as you can see, got them all set. So we ended up going with the rears are gonna be like full deep dished in there. And then for the fronts, I kind of did more of like a mid offset, nothing too crazy, so should look pretty good. You can see the difference right here. Yeah. So right now I'm about to mount the tires on, and we'll see how that goes. So we did end up rewiring the ESC, so I had to flip it around because the battery cable was pretty short and it was on this side right here, and I had a bad feeling that it was going to be rubbing on the gears right here, and I didn't want that happening, so I just flipped the ESC around for the battery cable here, and then I wired the ESC to the motor the same way that it was, just on this side now. On another note though, we did get the gyro installed, and I wouldn't say dialed in. I'm still like working with it and trying to learn how to use it, but it is in there and it is working. Alright guys, as you can see, we picked up some magnetic body mounts, trying to keep the build as scale as possible. So let's get to putting those on. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have the front magnet mounts on there. It was like 5 pieces that you just tossed together, so it wasn't anything complicated. But we ran into a bit of a problem with the rear set. So on these sets, they come with these 2 countersunk magnets where you can put a screw through them and put them into the mount. And they also come with 2 regular, like full no hole magnets. With our rear set, it came with all of the pieces parts to create or to build the mount, but they gave us 4 of the non-countersunk magnets. So we don't have any more of the countersunk ones to put on the rear, which it clearly needs. So we ordered some more of these countersunk magnets that will be coming in shortly. But for now, we're just not going to worry about the rear mounts. Not like we're ready to mount the body anyway. Alright, so we got the body and the front and rear bumper cut out and sanded down a little bit on the rough edges. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wash this out, prep it for painting. You can see the paint right there. We're going to wash it out with Dawn dish soap so that we can get all of our finger oils and crap off of there. Prep it for painting. So we decided to go with a white, because if you look over here, you can see we have a couple cars happen to be matching. White, white, and white. So kind of want to continue the theme on that, and I think good white. White's a good color, you know. It's not a bad choice, and I think it's gonna look good. So let's get to prepping this thing. Alright, so they're all prepped up and washed, so we're gonna get to painting right now. Alright guys, so after about 3 or 4 days of painting, drying, painting, drying, painting, drying, we finally have finished painting the body and the bumpers as well over here. So we were using a pearl. If you can see, I don't know if it shows up on camera. Yep, it shows up. It's pretty sparkly. It's not like just a regular white. But the thing with the pearl is it's very, very thin. So even though I did like 5-6 coats of it, it was still really see-through. So we just got regular white and threw it down on the bottom because it was a little thicker, and it's not see-through anymore. You can't see my fingers. So that's good. But right after I did the first coat of paint in general, I realized I forgot to tape off the windows. But, you know, it is what it is. What's going on here is we're mounting the new magnets that we got. So what you're supposed to do is magnetize through the top to find, like, set a point and then reattach them to the bottom so that you can outline where you're supposed to glue the magnets. So that's what we're doing right now. So we finished marking up the body. So we have the magnet points all set up. So all we have to do is double-side tape them to the body. So I did just take some sandpaper and I tried to score each of the magnets as much as possible because they're very smooth and shiny on the other end. So hopefully the scoring is going to help the double stick tape as much as possible. Magnets are all on there. Now it's time to test and see if they're gonna stick. They're supposed to, but you know, these are pretty strong magnets. So, all right, here's the test. See if it not only stays, if the magnets stay, but also if the body is gonna fit well. So, here we go. Okay, it holds magnet-wise when you lift it. Now we have our transmitter and our receiver connected. It's on. And there's no scraping. That's pretty cool. So with the second magnets on top, it is a little lifted to where we don't have the scraping. So we finally got the body set up. Now, next step is to glue the bumper on there. So we'll throw the bumper and then also the wing on there as well. With the bumpers on, it's gonna look even cooler. Apparently, there's glue somewhere. My dad said he had glue, but we'll see. All right, guys, so we're ready to glue the bumpers on now. This is glue that we're using. Some German glue, I don't even know. We were afraid that it was going to maybe mess up the paint on the bumper since it goes on the outside like that. We thought that it was gonna mess up the paint on the inside of the bumper, but we had one other plastic piece that came with the body that we painted and tried to glue, and it didn't do anything. So we're just going to go ahead and do it because it seems safe. So I'm gonna do a last couple adjustments, make sure that everything's fitting good. If there's any corners I need to grind down a little bit or cut, then I will do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue this thing together. We also fabricated some exhaust pipes onto the rear bumper, which I think is pretty sick. So yeah, anyways, like I said, we're gonna do a couple finishing touches on the bumpers, just make sure everything fits all right, and then we're gonna go ahead and glue this thing. Alright guys, so here's the final product of the car. We've finally finished basically everything that we need to do to it. Looks pretty dang good. So cannot complain. Got everything on. Looks sweet. So we will be adding things on as we go, a couple cosmetic things, nothing crazy, but we'll keep you updated on the new stuff on our Instagram, so make sure you go look in our description and find that. But if you want to keep up to date with it, that's where it's going to be. I think the only thing left to do now is take it for a little spin and show you what it can do. Let's get into it.